Hello, all trainees, wherever you are. I'm your trainer, Mr. Mark Mariko, and I'm taking this opportunity to welcome you to TVET Practical Channel. In this channel, I document myself while I'm carrying out real projects in the field, and then those clips or those videos, I use them to train all trainees everywhere, wherever they are, so that they can know what is required of them during modular practical sessions, as well as how the real projects are being carried out in the field of building and construction industry. So stay tuned and welcome. I'm going to have a real project of tile laying, starting from inside the entire floor of this room, starting from the rear end all the way up to here. And I'm going to do this stair work of laying the tiles. So TVET modular program has designed tile fixing for level 3, and their main unit is perform tiling works. So this is the code. The same tiling work is done by those who are in building technician level 5, but with them it is falling under carry out building finishes element 1. So this episode is going to be more useful for level 3 tile fixers and building technician level 5, and any other building technician who might be interested to know how to fix tiles. Now, my method of instruction, as for my case, it is a real project. Now, curriculum for level 3 tile fixers. Element 1, this one now, of that curriculum is talking of safety. So under safety, we have PPEs. So watch the following video clip explaining this element 1. This was the way I dressed when I was doing the project. I had the helmet, this one here, and then I had the goggles, this simple one, and then I had the mask to protect me from inhaling the dust, and then I wore the overall, which was having the reflectors, this one. So I did not put on reflectors separately. It was 2 in 1. And because tile fixing this with a lot of wet surfaces, I had the gumboots with me. I wore them. Now let us move to element 2, which is talking of identify tile type. And under it, we have a list there. We have number 1, ceramic tile. So as for my case, I've settled on ceramic tile, which is number 1 there, as the photo below. Now let us move to element 3, estimate tile quantities as per the areas, stroke, and area. Now we have sub-element 1, talking of measurement of tiling surface area or areas. So the keyword here is measurement. So you need to know the measurements of areas that you are going to tile or areas. Now, sub-element 2 is talking of area to be tiled is measured accurately as per the site specifications. So sub-element 2 is talking of you as a tile fixer taking again fresh dimensions, and you must do them accurately as per the site specification. So if there is some specifications that were given by the architectural plan, you have to cater for this as you do your measurement, as the clip below. Check the length of the room. These measurements are in centimeters, so we must put them in millimeters. So as per our case, it is 6,400. So that is the length. And the width of the room from that end is 2,100. From the video clip that we have just watched, we have come up with the following information: that the length of the room is 6,400 millimeters and the width is 2,100 millimeters. And mark you, we are talking of internal dimensions. The one you are seeing here is just the wall thickness. Now, sub-element 3 is talking of construction of plane figure or figures as per the tile layout. So if the architectural plan was proposing this tile layout of A, abide by that. If the architectural plan was having this pattern B, whereby the tiles are being laid in an X pattern, abide by that. If the client was not having any option of either of them, you might pick your own pattern. Marking, you want to be creative in the field, so you can pick on A or B. As for my case, the client did not have any pattern, so I settled on A. For easy documentation and reference, I used an ArchiCAD program to come up with the following clips. So just watch them and know how I've come up with this pattern whereby I've even given them the numbers so that I can have easy time to do the calculation of the number of tiles that I will need eventually when I will be doing the installation. Now, sub-element 4 is talking of tile dimensions are identified as per the manufacturer's specifications. So, as I told you, I've settled on ceramic tile having a dimension of 300 millimeters by 300 millimeters by 7.4, that is the thickness. Now let us move to sub-element 5, which is talking of total number of tiles required is calculated based on area coverage. Now how to get that? We must get first of all the floor area and then we divide by area of one tile. To get the area of this room now, we are going to multiply the length times width.
So one tile practically is measuring 300 millimeters. So it is 300 millimeters by this 300 millimeters. Again, you are seeing here.
Now the floor area is 6,400 millimeters times 2,100 millimeters over 300 millimeters times 300 millimeters. So if you divide this area by this area of one tile, you get 149.333, which is recurring. So we round off to the highest number, which is 150 tiles. Now, how to calculate the number of tiles, but now the skirting. Mark you, we have the floor, and then we have the tiles that are being used to do the skirting, and it is just one tile that we are going to divide to have those skirting tiles. Though we have specific skirting tiles, but a client might not be in a position to buy them, so you have to divide one tile to have the skirting tiles. So dimension of one tile is 300 millimeters by 300 millimeters. So if you divide it into 3, you are going to get 100, the first 100, this one now, and another 100, that is this one, and another 100. So, mark, you are going to divide them this way, but the length for one will be the same. So, at the end of the day, you are going to have a skirting measuring 300 millimeters for this by 100. So, one tile can produce 3. That is 1, 2, 3. Let me show you now. Now, with that in mind, to get the number of skirting tiles, you have to get the total perimeter of the room, and then you divide by summation of one side times 3. You're going to get 17,000 millimeters over 900 millimeters. So if you divide this by this, you get 18.8 is approximately 19 tiles because you round up to the highest number. So for the skirting tiles, we're going to have 19 tiles. Now to get the total tiles now, you add the floor tiles number by skirting tiles. So you have 150 tiles plus 19 tiles. Now let us move to sub-element 6. Tile wastage factor is determined and included in the estimation. Now let us look at the following photo and obtain some information. Now the information that we obtain is that one carton contains 17 pieces. So how to calculate the number of carton or boxes when buying the tiles is that the total number of tiles we are going to divide by the 17 pieces. So 169 tiles divided by 17 tiles gives us 9.94 boxes. And because we don't have this point, without this one to the highest number, which is 10 boxes. Now let me elaborate on this wastage factor that is here. So normally materials, we do add 10%. So as per this case, we are having 10 boxes or cartons by that case. Now 10% of 10 boxes simply translate to 1 carton. So you add 1 to 10 to get 11 boxes. I use the word boxes or carton, though the correct word is carton, but in the field they use the term boxes. So use sometimes the language they understand best. So that is why in the following photo, if you count those cartons, they are 11 in number. Now let us move to sub-element 7 of element 3. Do not forget, which is adhesive types, grout types, and other tiling materials are estimated as per workplace requirement. Now, the material that we are going to use, number one will be cement, and we are going to use sand also. Now, why do we use sand? We use sand to save cost because pure cement is the perfect, yes, but now we chip in with sand to cut the cost. Remember, the strength is almost the same. Now, 2 bags in the ratio of 1 sand of a wheelbarrow, this mix gives us a ratio of 1 to 1. And from experience, this one can now install 68 tiles. Now, 68 tiles is being installed by 2 bags, meaning 169, this one, will be installed with 5 bags and 3 sand of wheelbarrow. That is this one now. So eventually, you are going to reduce drastically the cost of buying cement in a pure state to make the paste or the adhesive. And the sand I'm talking about is just got freely, just at the roadside, and then you come and sieve it to have those finer particles because they're the one perfect for this job. So just watch the video clip below how it is being sieved.
Now, to reduce the overall cost, instead of using pure cement, we shift this one, this sand just being got at the roadside, and then we sieve it using this one to have this fine sand that we are going to use to mix with the cement in the ratio of 1 to 1, and eventually you shall have reduced the cost of overall installation.
Now, still on sub-element 7 of adhesive types, grout types, and other materials are estimated as per work requirement. Now, we are through with the sand and cement. Now, number 3 is the grout. So, I used 1 kg or 1 kilogram packet times 2, which was resulting to 2 kilogram of packet that I used in that project. Now, see the photo below of the grout. Now, next is spacers. I used 1 packet times 4, which was now 4 packets. Now, see the following images of the spacers, and even now they are supposed to be placed at the corners of tiles and between the tiles. Now, next is water. Water is used to soak tiles, mix the mortar, wet the surface, wash the tools and equipment, wash PPEs, and finally, if possible, if you can bathe, well and good, you can bathe. So all these are the uses of water during the tile fixing project. Now let us move to sub-element 8. Estimated tile quantities and materials are documented as per project specifications. So this is the summary of all tiles and all materials that are used in that project. Now let us move to element 4, preparing tiling work schedule. Under this we have A, tools and equipment required. So all these are explained in the following video clip.
Number 1, I'm going to use a tape, this one, for taking the dimensions, this one. Number 2 is the split level. For taking the levels, as I do the work, they must be in one level. Number 3 is the mallet, this one. I'm going to use this one to make the tiles firm as I proceed on, this one. Number 4 is the tile cutter, this one. This one is used to cut the tiles. I'm going to place the tiles here, and then I cut through, they're like this, and then I press, then it gets broken into 2 pieces. This one, very essential in tile laying, tile cutter. You must have this one when laying the tiles, this one. Next is the woolen float. This one is used to do the leveling of the mortar, this one, and some minor adjustments. Next is the square, this one, to test the squareness of the corners of the room. first of all, before you start everything. I have the line. This one is used to, as you start laying the tiles, you must have the starting point, and they must be in a straight line. This one here. I have these two trowels. This one is for scooping the paste as you place them along, and then you roughen, because I don't have the steel trowel that is having the edges for doing that roughening. So I'm going to use this one. And this one again for lining the edges, especially when there's no that aluminum lining. I do use this one to make the straight edges. I have the brush for cleaning the surfaces as I move on. And then I have the shovel for scooping the mortar, this one. Very essential. And then I have the wheelbarrow with me, this one. I'm going to place the mortar inside the wheelbarrow. Meanwhile, the tiles will be placed inside this basin. This basin, I'm going to fill it with water, and then I place the tiles inside. So those are the tools that I'm going to use in this project.
Now, element 4, sub-element B, talks of surface preparation, and under this, we have scraping, as in the following video clip. Then after scraping, we have now sweeping, as the video clip below. Now element 4, sub-element C, talks of soaking of tiles. Now watch the following video clip, how the tiles are being soaked. Now, still under element 4, sub-element D talks of batching. So watch the following video clip, how batching is done.
So I'm pouring it down to have it being mixed with the cement. So this is one part, it is 1 wheelbarrow full. So it is 1 to 1.
And now finally, on sub-element E of element 4 talks of mixing. Now watch the following video clip, how mixing is done.
So we are doing the mixing. We have to put this one because of dust. Then pour my water. Batch of mortar is ready, and it is perfect for the work. So as you can see, it is flowing.
Now let us move to element 5. But before we continue, let me remind you of something. Curriculum for tile fixers level 3 is divided into 3 parts. So the first part is perform tiling works estimate, and it is even having this code, which is ending with the 01A. And then part 2 of that curriculum is talking of prepare surface and set out, and is having this code, and it is even ending with 02A. And the last part is carry out tile installation, having this code ending with 03A. So since I started, I've been running it while I'm comprising elements from all these sections, so long as the work is flowing. So while you are watching those clips, don't worry as to why they are not in a continuous manner, because I'm selecting elements from this and from this and from this, but in a flowing manner. So as we move to element 5, I've been picking subtitles from all these sections to make the episode flow, because you will find that at a time some elements are being repeated in between. So I select them in a manner that will make the episode flow smoothly, up to the end. So with that in mind, back to element 5, we are going to have a video clip which is a bit long, comprising of how to establish a data point or the starting point when you are laying the tiles, how to lay tiles and cut tiles according to the surface requirement, how to perform joint cleaning, how to mix grout material as per specification, how to apply grouting material as per specification, and finally how to perform cleaning on tile surface. So it is a long continuous clip explaining now everything until now the work of this tile work be over. So stay tuned.
Now, we want to place our first tile, but I told you before we place our first tile, we must confirm the squareness of the corner. So as per our case, if we place it along this, you are seeing this gap, this one here. So we are going to have problem when laying the tile because the wall itself is not square at the corner here. And if you place it like this, again, along this, you can see this gap, this one here. So there's a problem with our corner. So that is the work of the square to confirm whether the corner is at right angle, this one and this one, and we will confirm it is more than 90 degrees. And owing to that, we are going to base our baseline upon this string here, this one. It is not going to be like this, nor like this, but will be straight like this one along that line. That is the work of now that string that I placed there. So it will be our guidance as we are placing our tiles toward this direction and this direction. So we are placing our first mortar and spreading it. So our tiles, we have soaked them inside the water so that the water can enter inside the pores which are here. Remember, it is ceramic. So we have placed the mortar, and this mortar we are going to roughen it a bit to receive the tile. And then we are going to place our first tile like this on it. And we are going to make it firm by tapping it with our mallet. And as we do the tapping, we must check whether it is level. So as per our case, the water is at the middle to confirm that it is level going this way. And then we confirm this, it is level going this way. So our first tile is okay. The only thing that we need to check again is whether the edge is at the line, is in line with our first string line for setting. So as per our case, it is in line, and we must check it horizontally from above. And actually, it is in line. So this is our first tile. The split level is indicating it is at the center, width-wise and length-wise. Again, it is at the center. Now, just to bring it closer, you can see the bubble is at the center of the split level too. It means that it is at that tile itself is at the level, the correct level that we need. So I'll put it closer for you to confirm. This one here, this one, this bubble here is at the center to confirm that the tile is laid in a given right condition in terms of leveling. So far we are moving on very well. So we are moving on very well, and we are removing the next 4 tiles. Again, we roughen like that. If there are any hard substance, we remove because they will break the tiles. We place this one now because there must be a pattern that they are following. So we place this one like this. and then we tap it. After tapping, make sure you remove this excess, this one, so you can check whether it is in line with the other one. So this one is a bit higher, this one now. I have to tap it. As you tap it, this excess motor, you remove, and then you remove it in between. You remove it in between. So we are mixing the next mortar or paste for a second round. Now I want to mix the third batch. So I'm mixing the last batch. And if from morning I have my 76 tiles. So we are ending today's work. I have placed the tiles from the rear end all the way up to the door, totaling 225 tiles in a day. Tomorrow, I will be now trimming the tiles for this end and for the skirting. So now I want to clean the tools that I used. Now it is clean. And of course, I must clean my gumboots. So that is all for cleaning. So see you tomorrow when I'll be now doing the rest of the work. As for today, I've closed. Hello viewers, today being the second day, I'm going to do the skirting. That is going to be 100 millimeters from the floor. I use the square to take the dimensions instead of the tape. You can place this one here, as you can see, at the 100 mark millimeters, and then you do it from this side to have your 100 millimeters. Then after that, you simply place it here over the tile cutter to confirm the edge, and then you do the cutting like this. It is pretty easy. You can see I've got my first piece from the tile, and then I confirm this one again. You simply place it over at the cutter like this, and then you confirm edge. The edge must be parallel with this always, and then you simply cut and you press. So I have my 3 pieces from a single tile. This is what I was talking about. That a single tile can produce 3 pieces for the skirting. Sometimes you can cut and then the cutting is not that so smooth the way you are expecting. So you do it with the pliers like this, because the room cannot be exactly as you are going to subdivide the length of the tile. You will find that this scenario occurs whereby a whole tile cannot fit between this space. So what we normally do is that we take the dimension, but now you do it the other way around. You do it like this, upside down, and then you place your mark here with the pen, because it is this end that is going to lie against the wall, and then you put the mark on the other end. So if you have these marks with you, I'm talking of this mark, this one, and then you trim the way I'm now doing. You place the tile here, and then you cut. So this scenario can arise whereby you are cutting and then it is not straight. Just return it to the cutter, and then you cut the portion like that, and then you have your straight edge. So you come and place it here. So this is how it is going to be. So it is the same thing I've been doing from the other end. I'm going to do it all around, trimming them so that they can fit. So I have placed the mortar And now I'm spreading it now to receive. Now I placed my first tile. I'm tapping it now to confirm. I'm placing the second one now. So we are through with this upper part. As you can see, it is complete regardless of color and shape. Some are big, some are small. But at the end of the day, no tile is wasted in the process. So we are going to do the second step, that is this one now. First, I start with the extreme end, which must be flush with the edge, like that, followed by this, and I proceed by tapping them, rub them, getting stuck firmly. So I'm through with these two. I proceed to do the third one now. I'm placing the last one now. That is this one. I've tested and it is okay. So I have to place it like this. I place the mortar over it. The mortar must be evenly distributed. So I place this one first and then have it here. I gently press it as I place this one beneath and then do the tapping like this. So basically, I have placed this one. I'm now removing the excess paste or mortar back to the wheelbarrow. So in case I've noticed any alignment like this one, I simply tap like this so that they be in a straight line. So as per this case, this one is now over. So what remains is to wipe it clean. That one I will do later, but now I do it roughly. Like that. I do this one now roughly. So it is over. So far so good. Our work is almost over. As you can see, I've done the floor area. Let me navigate it directly the way I'm doing. But now what is remaining is to do the skirting. So the work will commence from here. And then finally, I will complete the work of doing that skirting work at this point now. So that is how I'm going to do it. So first of all, I'm going to set the guideline using a string from this end all the way up to that end. Another important point to note is that the end of your tile like this one must be in line with this. So in case it surpasses like this one now, I have now to return it back by tapping it with the mallet like this. You can see me now returning it to the line until now, this edge now, let me show you to be precise. This edge is in line with this one now. So suppose it surpasses, just simply tap it behind, and even from behind it must be in line with this now, this one now. So keep that one at all times. They must be in line, both ends. So that when you're going to fix another one here, you won't have such problems of now not fixing in because of the oversize and you're the one who did the overlap. So that was just a reminder. Now I am through with doing the skirting work. As you can see, I have done it from the door and then back to the door where I should end that work. What remains is very, very little and it is called grotting. Before you do the grotting, you have to remove this one here, and then you sweep, and this hole is what we're going to fill with the grout. I want to do the removal of these infills, and there are cement infills like this, creating that hole as you can see, and then I'll be wiping with this brush now. So I will do that for the entire room from the rear end up to the door here, and then I'm going to mix this grout here now. It is water based, and then fill in these gaps all the way and then sandpaper them, and then the work now will be complete. So we are progressing well. Continue watching. Now it is time to mix the grout. So I have poured the water as you can see, and here with me is the Fuga grout. So I'm going to open this grout now like this, and then pour it here. Like the one now I have here. So I will start from this rear end, but before I place the grout, I will have to clean the joints properly, like the way I'm doing now. It is done along the joint. Then you wipe the excess like this. You transfer them somewhere else. So that's the way to do the grouting now. So I'm going to do the grouting for the entire room all the way from the rear end up to the door. That is here. And I will show you when I have reached somewhere here now. And then later on I will be wiping those grout to have the floor finished. So I'm clearing up the grouting work. As you can see, I started from the rear end, the other side, and now I'm completing it at the frame. This is the door frame. So I'm through with the grouting work. What now remains is to wait for this grout to dry, and then I will do the wiping. After I've placed my grout in between these two tiles, now it is time to do it at the skirting joint, and then fill this with the grout like that, and then remove the excess. I'm going to do this one up to the other end, that is that corner, then to the other that corner again, and then I will finish the work just here at the door. So if you can check, we have filled in this gap up to the door where I started. Remember, I started from this side, I've gone round, and I've ended the work of filling the gaps at this one now. So what is to follow is to scrub this, because by the time you are filling the joint, there are some instances whereby they will overlap. So I have to scrape them now. I will scrape the whole room. As you can see, the whole room is having those overlaps at the, if this is the joint. Now there's little overlap this side and this side. All those lines are having the overlaps. These white patches you are seeing, as well as the crosswise again, we have the overlaps. So I'm going to scrub them using the scrubber now. So to have them get removed easily, I dip this scrubber inside the water now. So the moment it is soaked and it is having reasonable amount of water in it, the way this one is now having now, then when I now do my scrubbing now, they will be coming out very, very easily. As you can see now, I don't use a lot of force to remove them. Alternatively, I can pour water over the surface so that they get soaked, the grout gets soaked, and they be soft to remove now. Now I've completed the floor. I have now to remove these ones now, all the way. So I'll be removing these ones now, all through, until I finish again at the door. So after doing the scraping, now removing the excess, and because I poured water so that they become soft, after completion now, I was to sweep now, the way I'm doing, to sweep this water outside before finally doing the mopping. So the project is complete. As you can see, the floor is now clean. So this is a real project that I was carrying on. It was a tile work. And let me take you inside now. The work started from this end now. And let me now stand this direction. It is a bit dark, but now the work proceeded until now. I am through. And this is the stairs now that I did with the broken parts. So finally, it is a complete project now, as you can see. So this was a real project in the field now. So it is complete.
Now, thank you for watching the episode of how to fix tile for level 3 and for level 5. And now I'm welcoming anybody who might be interested to know these practical jobs. You must not be necessarily within the building and construction department, but now anybody. Please subscribe because there are more to come, including screeding, including plasterworks, including painting, including roofing, including measurement. Remember, measurement is a practical unit, not a theory unit, including technical drawing and many more. Please subscribe and give your comment where I have not done correctly so that I can perfect myself. Bye-bye for now.